Party all night is the best of the best, best friend weekend. We can party all night is the best of the best, best friend weekend. We can party all night. Shout out the whole podcast crew. Everybody already know what it do. When you really gotta kill it, ain't nobody gonna feel it. When you really gotta tell them it's my crew, it's best friend weekend. We can party all night. We got Ross moving, Lowe's, Rumble, Aldo, Nice is the uncle.
As an African American, I'm all for equality, people getting treated fair, people getting their just due and what's owed to them. But it's so crazy how, like, I guess people views their mistreatment or how they should be treated or what's owed to them in the hierarchy of things in the grand scheme of everything. And just thinking about that brought me to my next point. I personally think it's just kind of cringeworthy when I hear white women talking about what's owed to them or how they don't get treated fairly, you know, how they want roles of leadership, whoop-de-whoop and all that. And I just think it's crazy when I know my people still getting the raw end of the stick. And before they get them, you know what I'm saying, they got to get behind black men and black women. And I just think that's just crazy, I guess, how some people just think what's owed to them. And in their actuality, when boys out here shining on affirmative action on the heels of our struggles and stuff like that, I think that's crazy.
I say, whoa, welcome to the Best Friend Weekend Podcast. It's your man, Aldo Nice.
It's your boy, Rod Smooth.
Wow, it's your boy, Los, a.k.a. Pete.
Rumble feeling some kind of way about something.
He is.
What y'all think? He got passed over for a promotion?
No, I think he was just in the office and while it was like, I don't understand why I didn't get that position. It's ridiculous.
I kind of got lost a little bit.
Way more.
I kind of got lost a little bit in the whole thing. I was thinking, was he comparing, like, you know, like, I guess the black struggle with like the female struggle? Was that?
I think to an extent, but I think he was more so comparing it to white women, and he was saying that white women feel like they are entitled above blacks. Is kind of where he was going with it.
I mean, they white.
I thought that was a foregone conclusion.
Why wouldn't they be?
Well, I actually. Okay, so I was watching an interesting documentary, and I'll plug it right now. PBS, one of my favorite networks. I've said it a million times. They did a Reconstruction documentary. It's a 4-part series on like that time right after the Civil War when Abraham Lincoln them was like, look, you Southern motherfuckers who broke away from the Union and was on some other stuff, you know, y'all gonna have to fall back. And these former slaves or these free people who was there before, they're gonna get some of these positions. So you'll hear this here and there. You guys have probably heard it. You'll hear like, oh man, it's the first something since Reconstruction. Mm-hmm. Meaning that during Reconstruction, there was a lot of black people in Congress. Like 30%. Like all of the southern states was sending black people to Congress and House of Representatives and stuff because they was telling them former slave owners and people who fought for the Confederacy that they couldn't run, and all the slaves was like voting. Okay, so it's an interesting documentary, but they get into how like a couple racist people got into power, people like Andrew Johnson, Lincoln's vice president, and they just got in there and was like, nah, man, let them boys vote, man, let them white boys, man, whatever, let them boys come back in here and give all them boys pardons. And they did all their thing, and eventually it ended up to where places like Woodrow Wilson, they say, was a big fucking racist. And he was like watching Birth of a Nation, that movie that had black men out there like looking like they was raping and pillaging white women. So all of that to say, there was a big part in there where they talked about how for the last over 150 years, that white men kind of look at it as their sacred privilege and like duty to protect white women from black men who are gonna like do them so. Like it's a thing, like it's a psychological thing. And I think that I think some of that still holds true. I mean, Raj, dating kind of a lot more outside of your race than we have in our time. Do you ever get that vibe that white boys are kind of like feel like it's their place to say something or talk down or something to that extent?
No, not necessarily. Especially out here. It's so common that I don't see that very often. But back home, I'm not gonna say place to say something, but place to make me feel uncomfortable or to make us feel uncomfortable. Sure, yeah, I could see that. Yeah, that's a thing. I don't quite understand it, but I actually had this conversation, the same very conversation, with my Caucasian roommate, and and we was talking about. I was like, it's not you that I'm worried about, like the people that, the dudes that played college sports, nice looking, all of that. It's the dude that wasn't cool, like the dude that might eventually become a cop. Like the dude that wasn't cool in high school. That's the one that I'm worried about making shit uncomfortable. Because he got something to worry about. He got niggas to worry about, so in his mind. You know what I mean? Like, other people don't. Like, the cool ones don't. CNH don't have us to worry about. Like, he with us. Like he with the shits. So the ones that's not with the shits, that's the ones that make it uncomfortable.
Gotcha.
Well, if you listen to Martin off the movie Boomerang, he said the pool table represents the earth. Because people say the earth is flat and the game is over when the white ball dropped the black ball completely off the fucking table. So there you go.
Well,
I think it's like bowling when the
that's where I was going with
the
it
black
too.
ball knock all of the white pins off of the frame, off his lane.
Especially because they got red necks.
Hey, I just want to say that I don't really believe that. The views expressed by me, I just thought that I would give.
No, so that's what you texted before we started this.
He basically said the views expressed by Roger are really the views of Los. So don't. Y'all are stupid. I think it's a lot to that. And just kind of to put a bow on Rumble's point, I think there is a point to there being a hierarchy in America. In my office, you guys have both been in my office, there's pictures on the wall, and those pictures are President Barack Obama. There's not pictures of President Hillary Clinton. I think that there's something to be said for a hierarchy of people where it might not feel that way all the time for black men, but I feel like kind of on that pecking order, they put white men ahead of everybody. But somehow I think that somehow, some way, shape, or form, a man is always like above women in our society. I wouldn't call myself a feminist because I wouldn't call myself a chauvinist either, but I can understand why women would feel a way about that. And
well, I didn't know Hillary Clinton was president first.
That's my point.
No, that's the point.
That's the point.
I get it.
She's
But
not.
what I'm saying is this, though. Number one, who said she was gonna get it? Anyway, what I'm saying is this: they mad because they fourth, they're third because they go white men, Asian men, right, and then white women.
You think so?
Yes.
I don't know. I think Obama kind of proved that to me, that it's kind of white men, maybe black men, than white women on that pecking order of kind of how. But that might just be might be Barack Obama. He might just be the rare
that's
exception.
what it was.
So
no, I don't think it's necessarily Barack Obama. I think Barack Obama does have something to say for that, like for him being cool, for him also being with the shits, because I think he on both sides, kind of like with the shits, like everybody like him, right? In his party. Sure, there's some right wingers that might not like him, but everybody over there likes him.
All of them.
I think that it's also to say that whoever was the person that was backing him was with the shits to the point that a black man is ahead of a white woman. But I think that they also got somebody that would look at it like if there was just a completely different. If Thanos snapped his fingers and took out 50% of the Earth's population, and then we had a whole new group in. That group might be with the shits, but on the other side to where they're like, oh no, this woman is white. So, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't think that it's like a definitive with the shits.
And the more I think about it, maybe I am being naive to say that, because I like to, like, people were like, hey, what if Michelle Obama runs for president? She'd probably win. But then would she? Or would a whole bunch of men be like, nah, I don't want that woman? Like, there's some of that that's
say that.
Like, it don't matter if you're a black woman or white woman or whatever. I don't want no woman. And I think that a lot more people would do that than say, I don't want no black person. But at the end of the day, all of that to say,
You definitely
that's
want
just
a black
running for
woman.
office. It's just running for office. So it's not like just America. It's not like a promotion at your job. It's not like if I'm gonna shoot somebody, I'm gonna shoot one first because we getting shot first before everybody. So it's a whole bunch of different it's dynamics to it. I don't know what got him so worked up this week, but I mean it's something to it. It's something to it.
We'll find out next month.
I'll find out this weekend. Rumble pulling up on to the H this weekend, so
Rumble.
we'll find out. I can ask him. He coming out here.
Holler, my boy.
He's coming out here for 420. But before we do anything, do you know what today is? It's our anniversary. Anniversary.
You should have let me get that first little
Tomorrow
part.
we'll come and grab something fun.
I don't know.
Raj, you got some lyrics with it?
I just got the first little part.
Well, let me hear it.
I'll just make the beat. Tomorrow will
there you go.
come and girl.
Look at that boy.
Something.
Come on, you supposed to know this, man. The pleasures are mine, 'cause we see good times. It's our anniversary.
Anniversary. Yep.
Anniversary.
2 years in that
I just want
thing.
to tell y'all boys, happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, bro.
I don't know if y'all knew.
I should have sent y'all a man basket, huh?
So it's crazy because we're gonna talk about two things. This week, it's the anniversary. 420 was the first time Raj Move and I sat down and recorded the first Best Friend Weekend podcast. It's 2 years. And next week, people out there might not know it. We've kind of divided podcast into some different realms. Like some of the stuff we do with Blackbuster Videos, some of the stuff we do with Men Secure, some of the stuff we've been putting together with Nothin NICE to Say interviews. We don't necessarily count them as the Best Friend Weekend podcast. But if we're just counting Best Friend Weekend podcast, next week's going to be the 100th episode. So we got the 2-year anniversary and the 100th episode back to back. You're going to have some good episodes. And I'm going to tell you guys out there, something we really want to do going forward is kind of involve more of the listeners. So be on the lookout for that.
Well, they got to start coming, man. The listeners, if you don't want to comment, put it on the page so we can read that shit. Don't just be texting Al. I don't got his number. I can't read that man text messages. Put it on the page so we can read that shit, man. Stop playing.
Stop playing with us, huh? Raj, for those of the people who just checking in, just tuning in, tell them what's the story behind the podcast, man. How this got started?
I mean, it's a very, very simple, origin story.
Wolverine origin.
Yeah, very, very simple. It was just you and I, Aldo Nice, Raj Smooth, just talking on the phone periodically. I'm gonna say once every 2 weeks. We'd have an epic conversation. If we could have captured, if there was some way to capture our just random, spontaneous phone calls and throw them out there and call them whatever, call them random, spontaneous phone calls of Aldo Nice and Raj Smooth, it would be funny.
And
so
people wouldn't like us.
No, people probably wouldn't like. No one would like us. No demographic would like us.
Nobody would like us.
So it just kind of manifested itself from that. We talked about it, and it was like, this is too funny and too witty to not capture and share with the masses. So here we are.
And Raj actually wanted to. We were like, let's do a podcast. What are we gonna call it? And Raj was like, let's call it Two Stupid Dogs.
Two stupid
Raj
dogs.
Wasn't that something we would have?
Stupid
Yeah, we would have
dogs.
numerized ourselves, and then so when Los came through, we would have had to be Three Stupid Dogs. That wouldn't have made no sense.
Yeah, it would have been. Would you have spelled dogs DAWGS?
DAUGS.
It'd have been
Dogs.
two stupid dogs and one cat.
What is wrong with it? One cap. Yeah. So the reason we call it Best Friend Weekend, how we've told you guys before, is shout out, this podcast is brought to you by Gramstar. And if you listen, we've been saying this podcast is brought to you by since the first one. Put a little clip of the first podcast. How terrible this audio sound. Put it in there.
What's the Orlando Brown on?
Family Matters.
Oh shit! But that's not. He wasn't a substantial enough piece.
No, but he was 3J.
He was the little guy who used to run with
Richie, who was, and he looks. I've seen him on the internet recently, but Richie was a gay kid.
Richie
he
had
had a little mullet, and
Richie had a full head of hair that was.
Richie had a Jerry curl at 5. Did Tim Duncan ever miss the playoffs?
The Tim Duncan score 81.
That doesn't matter.
Well, I just brought it into context. I think Gucci Mane had the absolute fucking moment when he was at that Hawks game and he proposed.
He proposed at the
Hawks game. He didn't get on one knee. He just stood up and held the ring down like at his waist, like here.
Honestly,
like I'm bird feeding you this ring.
Honestly, I don't want to lose my black card for saying this, but niggas struggle with etiquette. They do.
Ouch.
Hey, I mean, boys had nothing but ice in the background.
It was bad, but the content's always been good, and we've been saying this podcast is brought to you by since the first podcast. But and I think Fillion was one of the first jokes we had on the first podcast. But Graham Starr had moved to, where'd he go? He started a chicken joint in China.
Chicken joint in Japan. No, China. That's right. And same thing. Because one of my favorite Chinese restaurants is Japan Hibachi in New Iberia.
Thomas.
So,
Japan Hibachi.
Favorite Chinese restaurant?
Thomas.
Your favorite Chinese restaurant in Japan
my
Hibachi.
favorite chicken joint is Graham Starr 30's Chicken Joint, Shanghai, Japan location.
Thomas.
Shanghai, China location.
So,
no doubt.
I think the last I checked, Graham Starr will be partnering with Ito, and they will be dropping that chicken out of the truck. So just be on the lookout for that. I don't know if it's a thing or not, but I've heard it.
I thought he was going to put the chicken in the crawfish bar.
Well, the Harry's in the business. This podcast is brought to you by Ito. That boy was balling
Shout
them
out.
sacks
Hey,
last weekend.
that boy got an apparatus to boil some crawfish. It's crazy.
Yeah, it looked
Boy,
like that thing was made by with Valerian steel with some what you call that? Some vibranium.
Yeah. And I like Thanos made that thing.
Right? And either way, Graham Starr moved to China, and that's Raj and I's mutual best friend at the time, and it was like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? Out of spite, we started having our own best friend weekend without him, which is the advent of the podcast name and everything. Because anytime we hooked up, started in like 2012, I think, that we were having our individual, let's just hang out one weekend. So it's been best friend weekend and that, and it's just grown, and we really appreciate you guys being on this journey with us.
I think so it's the podcast, the merch, the weekend. The weekend has happened. It was almost like we had like some like negative weekends. You know what I mean? Like we got like negative best friend weekend, -2.
Yeah.
Best friend weekend, -3. Best friend weekend 0. And then finally, whenever we all got together,
was best friend weekend 1?
Best friend weekend 1.
Best friend weekend 0 was the shit though. That was LA.
Best friend weekend 0. The pilot was off the chain. The pilot episode was off the chain.
Yeah, it was craziness, but I mean, like I was running with that word the other day, and me and Raj got into a talk. This podcast brought to you by Tama Means and Andy, because they were sitting there telling us, like I had said on the podcast a few weeks ago, that it was like Southern humor something. I was throwing out some words there, and I was trying to woke Southern something, and I was trying to think of something that could be like not necessarily catchy, but something that encompasses what this podcast is about. But Raj, you said it a lot more succinctly. What did you say if someone ever asked you what is Best Friend Weekend about? And listeners, y'all can listen to this and tell people, hey, look, listen to Best Friend Weekend. This is what it's about. What was it?
It's about 2 stupid dogs, and I'm only saying that 3 stupid dogs,
and one of them stupider than all the way in camp.
I don't remember what I told you, so I'm gonna let you tell them.
You really don't remember? It was
I don't remember.
Our humorous take on something, on social issues, current events. Our humorous take on current events. And I feel like that's kind of vague, because I feel like there's a million podcasts that are people's humorous takes on current events. I feel like there might still be another word that needs to be put in there, but still, you know, that's how we rock it, and I love it.
I think the key word is our.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they don't have 1 million hour
Absolutely.
humorous takes. There's only 1 hour. So, you know what I mean? And
Sometimes we go over an hour, but you know, I feel sometimes we're a little over an hour, but you know, I get it, but it's only 1 hour though. A fun fact that you might not know. All three of us in the last 2 years have only been in the same room one time to record a podcast over the 2 years of having a podcast. And that was the episode, if y'all want to go back and listen to that one, Best Friend Weekend. And that was on April 20th, 2018, last year, around a year ago. So on the first year anniversary, we all got together and potted at the same spot. That's the only time all three of us have been together. Raj and I have been in the same room. Los and I have been in the room many a times.
Pause.
Yeah. Pause that. the boys let me in the room. I get it. There was a lot of. Okay, so let me ask y'all something. Think about some fuck ups along the way, because I could think of some very.
I know mine off the rip.
What would be yours, Los?
I can't wait for that.
I can't.
I think it'd be more fun if we tell you your fuck up.
You talking about hello, Los?
I came through full one day.
Oh,
floating.
high Los.
Oh, high Los.
Waving at everybody. Worst. Yeah, that was a bad one.
I don't remember what podcast that was, but people.
I don't even remember.
I don't remember either, but I know if we can find it, it was terrible. And maybe we should just delete it since we have 100 episodes. I already noticed.
What you don't know is I already went and deleted it. Okay. I just reported it every day for like a month till they deleted it.
It's gone.
Yeah. We don't see it no more.
I think looking back, I honestly don't even really remember, and it wasn't necessarily a mistake, but just the beef podcast.
Yeah, I remember that one.
No, not the 2017, 2018 beef. I'm talking about the actual beef, where there was beef between Aldo Nice and Raj Smooth, and we had to come to Jesus after.
That was so funny.
That was crazy.
Hey, that boy say, you off? You off? That boy hey, and that's when we was still FaceTiming.
What Los, what I said? I like that shit.
He said, "Oh, you want to do this?" Oh, because I love this type of shit. I love to do it. Boy crossed his legs. I said, "Oh, this shit got real."
I love a good argument, my nigga.
When a nigga cross their legs and start clapping, you don't know whether he gonna shoot you or sue you.
And also, shout out to the podcast that had to get redone because of just whatever. It being deleted, it not getting sent until, whatever. Like, shout out to those podcasts. I think we learned a lot in this 2 years.
No, absolutely. We had some good content that y'all never gonna hear because we recorded it and then, oh shit, like a mic was whistling in the background. Oh yeah, didn't press record. Or Mike was whistling in the background the whole time. We got our methods and everything like that. And I mean, I think that's something that I've stumbled and fumbled the rock on along the way. Is just kind of being I guess a best friend within the best friend weekend, because sometimes I make it more of a business, and these guys will notice behind the scene where I'm fussing about like, dude, we need to be like structured on this time, and I need this by this day. And sometimes it's like it runs like a machine when it should probably have a little bit more of the clowning and whatever we got and the authentic, you know what I mean, going on. So we're gonna try to give y'all some of that as well. And I mean, it's we just starting, man. It's 2 years, but we just starting, man. A couple of questions I had for y'all. Who was your favorite guest on the podcast? I'll give y'all the list. Can I give you the list of all the guests first, or do you want to?
Can I go first so that Los don't take mine?
Yeah, I'll tell you the list, and then you can go first. Absolutely.
So if y'all want to
listen, what you said?
I want to go before you give me the list.
Okay, go ahead, Raj. Shoot.
Officer friendly.
Dang, Officer man.
Friendly.
I just had to get that out. I just didn't want you to mess that up for me. So now y'all can choose who's y'all's favorite guest.
Officer friendly. He put a slug in Lil McKinley. Huh? Los, who was your favorite guest? And Los doesn't count because Los was a guest at first, but
yeah, I was gonna say myself. I definitely had myself on that list. But me, and then I had Officer Friendly as well. But the resident D Scott, man. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
D Scott always bring good energy to the pod, man. I guess he been on so many times he may not be a guest in particular now, but shout out D Scott.
Yeah, I mean he definitely has kind of ascended to that to part of the crew. So yeah. D Scott definitely, man.
He don't listen though, so fuck him.
I mean, and y'all took two that I would definitely say, but one that I would like to add to that just as an aside. I'm not gonna say Rumble, although I would say Rumble because Rumble started as a guest on the Team Nice in the House episode. And if y'all go listen to Team Nice in the House, go back and check that one out. It's an underrated podcast because it's Rumble here, and he's just it's your first time on the podcast ever hearing Rumble, and he's just going, and it's Rumble talking for 5-minute stretches. And he's funny when you listen to that. When you listen to him talk for a while, like it's we take him out of context with that 1 minute at the beginning of every podcast each week. But I definitely want to do a comedy special or just something with Rumble because he's a funny dude. Just kind of
really, I think you just give Rumble the mic and let him talk.
Yeah,
anything. Just give him the mic and let him talk.
And I just sit back and edit it. So that's something we got to do.
Yeah.
But my favorite guest, I'm going to say this, was on the Black Coffee Crew episode when we was with the Black Coffee Company. It was Jamin, who's the head of Black Coffee Company. It was my favorite because it was so contentious. And it was it was bubbling under the surface, fussing. But it was so, when I listened to it, it was funny to me. It's kind of it's funny because we were bickering, but we were still getting somewhere with the podcast. And it was one of my favorite interviews to do. So I would say that Jamin from Black Coffee was my favorite guest in that way. Just throwing all of the guests out here, give everybody love. D. Scott was our first guest on Black Cubs versus White Cubs, episode 13.
Actually, I was the first guest.
No, actually, you were after that. You were on Educated Ignorance and Fake News, and those came after that episode. I went and looked it up today. And I think your first official episode was The Great Unifier. Officer Friendly was on Who That Called the Police. Rumble and Gramstar were on Team Nice in the House. Just Devon, Bill, Dick Irv, Duff, Warren, Sanim were all on the Homecoming. First Homecoming 2017. CNH was on the top 10 of 2017. Baba Films was on Wakanda Forever. Great podcast. Mile High CI was on Finessing the Culture and Employee of the Year. Rumble, CNH, Mile High, and Mile High's crew of people, Meerkat and company, and whoever else was making noises in the background.
Stop.
Huh?
Nothing. I'm listening.
No, what was the other dude who was making noises in the background? They had another dude's name that I wanted to say. Nick Butter.
Skylar.
Nick Butter.
Shout out Nick Butter.
They was all on
Pizza Daddy.
Weekend. Right? That was the one where we were all in the same house. Gramstar and Devon were on Everything Is Nice. Just Devon was on LeBron Drake. D. Scott was back on Daddy Gang. Black Coffee Crew was on one of those. The Black Coffee Company one. Dominique Young on Loyal Bros. Duff and Just Devon on Woke. D. Scott back again for Surviving Best Friend Weekend. Moose was on Urban Flowsaurus. And T. Peden was on Black Packers. So that's pretty much every guest that we've had so far. And I know we're something I just noticed that I'd fuck up along the way. We need more women on the podcast. So we hear you. We hear you. We're going to get that.
You said we need to put a woman on the podcast? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I mean, we had Sanim on an episode and a couple of girls who came for the Homecoming episode. But outside of that, I mean, I had a one time I put my sister on there. You remember we had an audio clip of my sister talking about Beyonce.
Yeah.
And I had one of my coworkers, Erica, shout out. We put her on there to say something about something. I don't remember. So we've had it, but not necessarily the banter, the back and forth with female guests. So, I mean, if you're out there and you want to do something, holler at us. We could definitely want to, we definitely open to having that. What was your favorite podcast? Do y'all remember what your favorite podcast was?
African Dust.
I do.
By far.
African Dust. Oh my
Dust was
God. I didn't even think about that one, but that was hilarious.
African Dust.
Dust. Wow.
African Dust was hilarious, bro.
Yeah. That's funny. Raj, you got a favorite podcast right off the gut?
I mean, the classic podcast. I feel like the podcast that has kept us together for this long is Dear White Folks.
Yeah.
It was a show review of Dear White People on Netflix, but I still just liked it. It just led to some talks and some differences that you and I at the time had on certain social issues, and I just thought it was a good one. Plus, it got a lot of listens. So
it got way
that's
more
my favorite
listens
podcast.
than anything around that time, because it's funny, right?
Yeah.
You look at our podcast and we have, whatever, after about at about a 6-week mark, we're having 200 or so listens.
A billion listeners.
Back then,
don't shortchange us.
Well, back then it was like 60 listens, 40 listens, but that one you just referenced was like 100 and something as well. So that was the first one that kind of had a lot more traction. And I really like what you just said, Raj, because it set the stage. Like the first one we did was top 20 of 2016, which was just like it set the stage that we're gonna be funny and tell jokes. But that one was really like, it put some levels to what we do in the podcast. And the audio wasn't as bad on that one. That audio, like, we figured it out really quick how to make the audio not suck. But yeah, that's a really good choice. I actually went with Who That Called the Police, which was the one with Officer Friendly. So I had that one written down from jump. Yeah. Because it was really just, it was the first interview, one of the first interviews we had that it felt like we was interviewing somebody who was kind of like knew a lot about what we were talking. Not to say that D-Scott didn't know about black clubs versus white clubs, but I think we were asking him questions that a lot of people were really interested in. That's a podcast that might have gotten fallen through the wayside, but it stands to this day. Go back and listen.
Especially at the time, that was all the shit was going on.
Police shootings and different. It's good.
Yeah, he gave us some insight
podcast
on
is
it.
timeless. I might mess around and re-drop that podcast like sometime early next week just to do it. Like, so it's on the front of everybody's mind. If you haven't heard it, like, that might actually be something we can do going forward. Like, start dropping our old podcast like on Tuesdays.
On Tuesdays, yeah.
Like, here, this is one of our favorites, a Blast from the Past podcast. If we got 100 to go into the thing, and if you haven't ever heard it, then it'll be new to you, right? But the last thing that we do, that everything everybody always talks about, is the podcast artwork. So Raj and I have kind of went back and forth with some of these. I remember the first one that I really said, you know what, I'm gonna use Photoshop to do this. I'm not just gonna mess around on my phone. Was the freshman class, XXL freshman class, and I made like an album cover, and that one was pretty dope. But y'all tell me what your favorite artwork was that we've had so far.
What was your favorite, Raj?
Well, I got 3, so I don't want to use all of them. So,
okay, if you got 3, then we need to go first.
Then y'all go first, because mine might be in y'all's 3.
Oh, I'll go first.
In y'all's 2.
No, I'll go first.
Ahead.
My favorite one that I enjoyed doing the most, it's so aesthetically, like, it's perfect to me. Not everyone is perfect. The perfect artwork is Netflix or Chill. The one with Monique and like Los hugging Monique from behind. I'm like kissing Monique and Raj like with that was that, and it had like the Parker's Monique. It had the Precious Monique, and it had like that to me. Like doing, I laughed while I was doing it the whole time. That's perfect to me. Out of all of them, that was the perfect one.
That was a good one. I like the For the Record with Rogers, the baby with the headphones on.
Drew Brees.
With Drew holding him up.
Yeah, that is.
that was hilarious, dog. That was funny. And the one Cardi B, we was all tied up all around the room.
Yeah,
that was funny too. And then the flu game was nasty. I like the flu game was nasty.
The flu game one is classic.
I didn't know y'all was gonna get 3. Goddamn, I would have picked more.
Yeah, I got a bunch of them.
The Tide Pods one was funny for me too.
The Tide Pods one was off the chain.
Yeah,
I was very, very, very upset that I wasn't a part, but it was very fitting that I wasn't a part of that Big Sean album. Big Sean and Metro Boomin, I think it was that album.
Double or Nothing.
That one.
That was called Double or Nothing.
That one was very, very dope. Like, I mean, just the details in it. Mm-hmm. My favorite one that I did, that I spent time on it, and I thought it was funny, was the TV Guide one. I like that one.
Oh yeah.
But my all-time favorite, with the like, if you look at that, I feel like if somebody actually analyzed it,
I think one people have analyzed it because somebody commented once on it. It was like, why'd y'all put nigger on channel 25? Because that's what we was talking about that week. Whatever, somebody said nigger.
It was fitting.
Yeah.
I really put some hard work in there. But my favorite one of all time, and it's never changed, hold on. My second favorite one is the Call Tyrone one. I love that one.
Tyrone
Oh
Hankerson.
yeah.
I love the Call Tyrone one.
Yeah.
Where I'm jumping and I'm like flipping my
Hey,
jacket.
yeah,
that
that
shit
was fire
dope.
too.
Los with the big fur.
With the
I
big
love
fur
that.
daddy.
And then, this is what I was getting to. My favorite one is the Aldo Rogue podcast with all them children. That shit, I just loved it. It's just raw, you know? Like it was just a raw podcast cover,
Father's Day.
but that ended up dope.
I did that one on my phone, and like that was before I started photoshopping. But yeah, that was a nasty one. But I mean, you know, hey, if you're out there and you want some Photoshop artwork, you can tell Raj, whenever we make these, we got a certain style of artwork. We could help you with your artwork, man. We get you some stuff, man. It's kind of fun to me to do it that way. Y'all got
For
any
a small
before?
fee.
Right? Like, we about to get into some stuff. I mean, we're going to get into our regular podcast stuff, but we want to celebrate a little bit of the 2 year. Any future plans that you guys thinking that you want to kind of push toward in this next year?
Fire Festival.
BFW Festival?
BFWW, huh? Best Friend Weekend.
BFW Festival, and the F is for fire.
Stupid.
Big Fire Weekend.
Okay,
big
Best Friend
fire
Weekend is 6 weeks away. Buy your ticket. Come to DC. The events are coming together right now. We're gonna have a list up like within the next week. We got stuff ready to go. So yeah, absolutely, Fire Festival.
Yeah.
What you got, Los?
holler.
Anything?
Upgrade. We want more merch, man. T-shirts and shorts, all of that coming, man.
I say shorts.
We got
Sandals.
I'm down with the shorts. I didn't think about it. I could see me having like the little shorts on, like kind of like the Mitchell and Ness Lakers, but it say friend or something like that.
Actually,
Weekend.
I was talking for women with the BFW.
Oh, best.
On the booty.
Oh, you talking about like pink, but instead of that it says BFW.
It
On
say
the booty,
no.
though.
No. Instead of that, it says Aldo.
On the booty.
Y'all's won't work because it's an uneven letter. Like if you put Raj or Los, then it'd be a big O over their booty hole.
No,
that would look
no,
stupid.
you put no. You if she don't have no ass, you put cap on there.
Los, aka CAP. It'd be just too small to read.
She capping.
Aldo on each cheek. I'm with it.
So Al on one and then Doe on the other.
Exactly.
I mean, I would have a U. I would have a U on each cheek. You know, like it'd be like one swoop of the U on the left and one swoop of the other side of the U on the right. I'd be good too.
Or I could just put we could sell something with just a W on each cheek, and whenever she twerk it just say wow, wow, wow. No, it's not a thing. or B on one cheek and a W on the bow, bow, bow.
or F and it's going.
What's wrong? What's wrong with him?
What is wrong with
Y'all don't have good sense is what your problem is. Let me tell y'all what burned my Boudin this week, man. Following up Rumble Williams last week, his intro, he was talking about how he from Lafayette and he not from New Orleans, and it was an epic rant. We really like that. Speaking of, there's actually a new champ in the UFC in the lightweight division. Dustin Poirier won. He beat Max Holloway. And that means that he's the second UFC defending champ right now from Lafayette, Louisiana. So the biggest mixed martial arts company in the world, 2 of their champions are from Lafayette. You know what I'm saying? Talking about it. Shout out to Lafayette. This podcast brought to you by the Flats. But what
and both their names end with IER. That's dope.
Yeah, Cormier and Poirier. Huh? Yeah, that's cool. That is cool. It's very, Lafayette.
It's not like Joe Smith, or John Salamander. That just so happens to be from Lafayette. It's Cormier Poirier.
And people probably call them both Cormier and Poirier. Yeah. Not knowing. But what burns my Boudin about it is I couldn't watch it. You know why? ESPN Plus burns my Boudin. CBS All Access burns my Boudin. I don't want my regular networks having pay-per-view. Burns my Boudin.
They had it on pay-per-view. They want to let you watch it free.
You don't know about ESPN Plus, Los?
I got ESPN Plus.
No, you don't have ESPN Plus.
How much do you pay for? Hold on. Let's actually tackle this one. How much do you pay for ESPN Plus?
I don't have a clue, but I'm not paying.
No, I'm asking Lopes. He has
it's like $6.99 or something. I did a free trial when the LeBron shit came on.
Oh, you actually do have ESPN Plus?
Yeah.
And so you continue to pay for it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, shout out Los.
It still burns my boudin. I don't give a shit.
It burns my boudin too, because not only is it's $4.99 a month. I'll tell you the price, and I'm real good at this stuff. It's $4.99 a month, but you still got to buy the pay per view.
No
so
way.
So it's $4.99 a month, and the Dustin Poirier UFC fight is the Dustin Poirier UFC fight was $84.99.
No way.
So why am I paying?
That's not a thing.
No way.
That's a thing.
It is a thing. Yes.
Floyd wasn't that high, was he?
Who?
Floyd
wasn't that much.
Now that shit was like $99.99 for like HD.
Yeah, no. I'm not telling y'all what I know. I'm not telling y'all what I think. I'm telling y'all what I know.
Huh.
The Dustin Poirier fight was $84.99, not including your $4.99 per month subscription to ESPN Plus.
You know how much?
Ridiculous.
You know how much it was on Reddit?
Yes, because I watched it on Reddit. So yeah, I know how much it was.
Y'all taking fool out them boys' mouths, bro. Y'all to be shaming yourself.
I'm not giving him $84 to Dana White and to Dan Pett. I don't even know who ESPN like. Stephen A. Smith.
So I'm sorry. The fight was actually $59.99, but still.
$84.99 is a lot different than $54.99, but still. I mean,
I didn't have to give up. I didn't have to give up my truth. I could have just let y'all believe it was $84.99.
I'm sorry. You're right. I just think where we're going right now, and I'm gonna try to say this as succinctly as possible. People are cutting the cord because they're like, I don't want to spend $200 for cable, which is fine. But if you're gonna spend $79 for high speed internet, plus you're gonna have a DirecTV Now subscription, plus you're gonna have HBO Go, plus you're gonna have Amazon Prime, plus you're gonna have like ESPN
Showtime,
Plus,
Netflix,
CBS All Access, Netflix, Hulu. Then I mean, at the end of the day, it's all going to end up. You might as well keep cable. Like that's all I'm saying.
So yeah, you're paying the exact same thing. I get it. Like sometimes people get different services because they are fed up with cable and just having to go through that whole like game of, I got to renew my contract, try to get a better price every 1 or 2 years. I understand. But I mean, that's really what it is. What sucks about it is that all of these networks are going to start branching off. ESPN, CBS, Hulu's got their own content. This Disney, all of these things are going to start branching off. And it's going to be a whole bunch of different networks. And then some big conglomerate, maybe, I don't know, AT&T, whoever, is going to come in, bring them all back together, put them in a package, and sell it to you again. So, just wait.
Well, I think there's a thing. I think there's a thing that Apple's trying to do like that, where Apple's got their own content, but they're also like creating some kind of a Apple Plus or something, where like you can put everything. I thought Apple's got something like this. They hop in, putting skin in the game. So either way,
Samsung gonna beat them.
Burns my boudin. If y'all haven't learned anything from watching this, listening to this podcast, Reddit. Go to Reddit. You can watch it for free, and that's all.
Watch anything on Reddit.
Yeah. I didn't even know it was coming on.
Reddit knows everything. Reddit knows. I saw the new Avengers Endgame on Reddit the other day.
I know they got them spoilers, but I'm not subscribing to them spoilers.
I definitely saw the end of the world on Reddit.
I saw it.
2 weeks ago.
I'm not watching the leaks. Y'all can have that. And look, I'm going to stop right there because I'm not going to allow y'all to do that to any of our listeners. Another thing that burns my boudin, well, it didn't really, but elevator shenanigans part 2. I told y'all about my little elevator fiasco. So this morning, I'm going in the elevator. Check it out. Me and this dude who was wearing some tight shorts, and he was chunky. So it wasn't...
I thought you was going to say he was fine.
He wasn't fine. And it was high, and he looked stank. And we standing there, and we press the button for the elevator. And guess what happened? Two elevator doors fell. 2 elevator doors opened at the same time with nobody in either one. This fool followed me into the same elevator I went into. And pressed a floor lower than mine. Can you believe that shit? That
starting to
burns.
be
No,
petty
I
with
mean,
the
like
elevator
literally, I made him gesture to walk out when he walked in. Like, nah, bro, what's wrong with you, dog? Like, I was thinking that in my head, like, what's wrong with you? Like, why?
So did you get in the other elevator?
No, I did. Because I walked in and I'm like in the back of the elevator. I press my thing and I'm kind of towards the back, and then he comes following me in, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why you didn't go get in the other elevator? And, like, at that point, the door was kind of closing because he walked in and pressed the button, and I'm like, so I'm supposed to just put my hand out like, whoa, wait? Because then I might have missed the other elevator? I don't know. I just was like...
Maybe that man didn't want to be alone while he was high, bro. You don't know.
That's what I'm thinking. So also I want to ask, it burns your boudin, right? The whole scenario? Does it burn your boudin? Let's start from the beginning of the story. So they had this dude, right? And he had some tight shorts on, but he was fine. And he followed me in the airport. I mean, in the elevator. Does that burn your boudin? Or if it's LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's funny that you're just picking on chunky dudes with tight shorts. That's messed up.
Well, I think more than anything, it was the fact that he picked this floor that was lower than mine. But, I mean, I still would have felt the way if it was Serge Ibaka walking.
You waiting 22 seconds, bro. Why? You waiting 22 seconds. Why you mad about waiting 22 seconds, bro?
You know what? Rumble hit me up the other day and said, I work on the 7th floor too, so I feel your pain. Like, you don't feel neither one of y'all feel my pain because y'all don't get in the elevator ever. Y'all don't y'all don't understand elevator politics.
I take the stairs. I take the stairs, man.
They got people who
elevate. Work on floor 22. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you really know?
Yep.
I don't know if you're telling the truth, but I'm just gonna let you have it. I'm gonna let you have it this time.
Floor
Appreciate you.
Awesome.
I called Raj earlier today because I got to do something I've never had an opportunity to do in my life. I walked into Lowe's and I was doing some garden work. So I walked up to this dude and I was like, "Say, bro," and I started laughing. And I said, and I got my face straight and I was like, "Say, bro, where the hoes at?" Hey, and a little dude was standing next to him. Another worker walked up when he said, "Oh man, don't ask that nigga, ask me. I got all the hoes." That's exactly what he said.
That's funny.
That was hilarious.
I got more hoes than him.
I called Roger immediately and was like, "Hey, check it out. Look what just happened." Where the hoes at?
So you should have said, "What you got the hoes for the low?"
Where them hoes at?
Oh, say, bro, what room them hoes in?
What all them hoes on? Oh boy, I saw them hoes was on aisle 23, boy. Hurry up.
Aisle 23 got them hoes.
Yeah. Hey man, it's only one hole left.
Hold up. Now what if I'd have got over there and it would have been like, man, I don't fuck with them kind of hoes. I meant it, and I really wanted a garden hose and not like a hoe. Oh man, my nigga, you sent me over there by them old hoes I don't like, man.
What if he told you, man?
You sent me about the wrong
It's
hole.
a few more months until Christmas, man. Christmas already passed, nigga.
They was trying to take all my money. You sent me by the wrong
the wrong hole.
Anyway, so we actually do have content this week. Give you a couple of things. 2 stories this week. Well, 2 stories and a whole bunch of other thoughts. But Tiger Woods, man. Speaking of past podcasts we did, you remember this joke I told in the podcast? A lion wouldn't drive fucked up, but a tiger would.
A tiger would.
So that was episode 6 of the podcast. And it was Tiger Woods, but I won't. And it was me and Raj Smooth just giving Tiger Woods the business for being a big Percocet, Molly drunkhead and talking about if we like Tiger. So we've had this conversation before, but it's particularly germane now because of the Masters. Did you guys watch the Masters live?
Yes.
Yes. The majority of it.
I watched.
Tiger Tiger was a Florida man at that time. That's funny. That shit happened in Florida, so he's no longer a Florida man.
He was acting like
he took all his hoes back too. He took all his hoes back to Lowe's.
Here you go. Yeah, he hoe free. I think right now. I think at least he putting out that public image.
Nah, he went and picked them hoes back up.
Do you feel any differently about Tiger Woods now than you did then, Raj?
Yes, he won. That's all I needed him to do. I think that's all we wanted. Like if Tiger Woods would have got fucked up by his wife like he did, and his whole world fell apart, but he would have just went out there and won the Masters. 10 years ago, then we'd have been like, all right, cool. You know, like we'd be like, all right, Tiger Woods, whatever, it's Tiger Woods. But that man been losing for 10 years, and it's like insult to injury. You know what I mean? Like it's like, damn, this nigga like fucked up his marriage. Black men don't cheat, and he cheated
At all.
and
but he Kablazian.
and then he lost for 10 years. So like, damn, that nigga not even good no more. And then he won the Masters. All right, cool. Like I'm back on top. I'm on that, man. That's my favorite golfer. Again.
Oh, fat weather, nigga. I think with Tiger Woods, what really messed me up with Tiger Woods is how he was moving, bro. He was moving like a clown. And I ain't want to see Tiger Woods move like a clown, bro. That was, he had a whole culture playing golf, like taking golf to the next level out there. You know what I'm saying? They ain't never seen that many empty Hennessy bottles in the trash can ever before on the golf course until Tiger Woods came out there. So I think that the way he was moving really kind of disappointed everybody, him being a little poster child of golf or whatever. And on top of that, he was losing. For me, that's what it was. But I mean, him losing, he was injured. To his credit, he was injured. He was trying to be a Navy SEAL and do a whole bunch of other really, really, really dumb stuff. Trying to be like his dad or whatever, going through grief, height, whatever it was. But I just think how he was moving really had put me in a bad spirit with Tiger. I was like, dog, you wildin'. You Tiger Woods, man. Why you only got one cell phone? That's stupid.
Oh my God.
Do you like him? Do y'all like Tiger Woods?
Yes.
I wouldn't hang out with Tiger.
I don't know how I feel. I don't know if I like dude or not. I think it's interesting. I was listening to something. They played an interview in 1989 of Tiger Woods. So that would have been, I could do the math. It's very easy, 20 years ago. So if Tiger was, no, I'm sorry. That's stupid as shit. I'm stupid. That's 30 years ago. Tiger is 43, they said right now, so he was 13. And they asked him what tournament he wanted to win, and he was like, I want to win the Masters because, it's been unfair to blacks, and I think that would do a lot for us if I get in there and win the Masters. And I was like, what?
Now he said he wanted to beat Jack Nicholson.
No, hold up. He said us. He said they don't want blacks at the Masters, and it'd be good for us if I win the Masters. Like, when Tiger Woods was 13, he identified himself as us, as one of us. Somewhere along the lines, that kind of changed, man. Like, Tiger's all about not being a race. You know that. He ambiguous.
Yeah.
Obama black. Tiger Woods ain't never came out. The Rock ain't black. You know what I mean? They got people who you either got some black in you and you're black, or you got some black in you and you want to be ambiguous. Tiger is one of them I want to be ambiguous people, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that's kind of the part of why I didn't really. It's not that I dislike him. I want him to win, but I don't necessarily like Tiger.
I think that was the world he living in, though. You know what I mean? Tiger went to living in an all-white world. He wasn't hanging around no niggas except his daddy. And it was, all he had was his daddy. And outside of playing and all that, he had his own trainer. His daddy wasn't training him anymore. He was living in a white world. You know what I mean? He played golf. You know what I'm saying? Tiger wasn't kicking it with nobody like us, or he might kick with Wayne Brady.
Over under two black friends that he talked to once a week.
Oh my God, under.
One.
So under. Y'all both going to under.
Under.
Okay. If I set the over under at 1.5, it'd still be under for both of y'all.
Under.
Okay.
Once a week?
Yeah, I don't think Tiger, but I'm okay with that. Like, cause that man is not black. Like he black, like he got black in him. But like, I don't think Tiger Woods is like all the way black. You know what I'm saying? Like that man says what he was. I'm reading this. He said that he was like Kablazian or something like that. Yeah. Cablinasian. That's what he said.
It's Indian too, he said.
So
tripping.
You know what I mean? But like that man do understand, like, so he when he said that, he said he's Cablinasian, but the police only saw black. So like I think that man still go through the struggles of being a black person and has gone through that struggle. So I give him that respect. But I don't need that man I don't need that man to listen to rap music and have homies in the hood. Like I don't need that shit from Tiger Woods.
Two
like,
chains not walking that boy down the 18 hole.
I don't need that. I don't need that from him. If he want to do that, then I commend him. I might like him more, but I don't need him. I don't need him to do all of that stuff.
I was telling Los when we was watching it the other day. I said if I was Tiger, I'd be driving it, and if I hit a fire drive off the tee, I'd turn around and just stare down the gallery I just be staring everybody down like
hit him with that LeBron,
right?
hit him with the LeBron backing up the whole time.
But the crazy thing is that like that's what that man brought to golf. That man brought flavor to golf. Like that man, like that's what he did. Like he did that. Like it might have not been in the same way that you're saying.
It ain't Tony Satchern. You saying?
But that man, nobody was celebrating after. And nobody was celebrating after a big fire putt. Like. I think if Tiger Woods could do a backflip, he would have done a backflip.
Well, Chichi Rodriguez used to do that. I'm just telling you. I'm just FYI. Somebody I used to watch when I was kids. Like he used to always. But I mean, he was Mexican, so he brought like. Oh, no, I'm sorry, he might not have been Mexican. He was Latin American, so he brought that flair to him. So I guess that's cultural.
He brought torta flavors. Yeah.
Yeah, so he did that for he did that for the Mexicans.
So what
you saying Tiger brought seasoned all? We need somebody to bring their Tonys.
Stupid.
Most spice
he brought salt and pepper. Salt and pepper. Salt and pepper blend. So whenever I think Tiger, I think Serena, and this is all I'm gonna say about it. I think Serena and Venus, and maybe it's because it's two of them, just did it way more like the way that we like to see it done than Tiger.
But they hood though. They from Crenshaw. Don't do that. They from Crenshaw. Cut it out. They came in with beads in their head for like years. Nah. They hood though.
Tiger had too good.
You can't come. Yeah. Tiger stay on a military base. You know what I'm saying? Like,
speaking of
privilege.
Didn't it make you feel great when Tiger took his hat off? And I was like, shit. If Tiger still try to keep that hair, I'm in there.
Nah. I ain't feel good
if
about
Tiger's
that.
Still hanging on,
let that go.
No, it's definitely time for Tiger to let that go. But if he hanging on, shit, I ain't that bad.
You ain't you well off.
I'm blessed. But if I ever get to Tiger Woods level, somebody out there, please let me know. Please. Please.
I think if my hair was soft like Tiger Woods one, like if my hair moved like Tiger Woods' head move when it get wet, then I might play that. I could play that too. I feel like you could play that ball then a little bit better if your shit kind of slick. But my hair don't do what Tiger Woods' hair do. So
I mean, if he was really in the culture and he was listening to rap, he definitely would go to Tiger's doctor and go and get it right so he can have braids.
Over under how many times Tiger's been to a black barbershop?
Black
Tiger.
Oh no, I think Tiger went to a black barbershop up like all the way through high school. I think his daddy probably was black. Like on some like Earl Woods was probably like, nah, you're coming to the barbershop. And I think that's kind of reflective in him saying
his name
us
Earl.
at the Masters. I think his daddy had him doing black stuff. And then when his daddy passed, he probably was like, you know what? I got my mama. I'm Asian. I don't really.
No, I don't think it was then because his daddy didn't pass for a while. I think it's when he got to college.
Okay.
And got away from his daddy as much. So, you know what I'm saying? He got to college and got away from his daddy and was really, living a white man's life.
Playing golf at Stanford, you're right.
Playing golf. And started playing golf. Yeah, and started playing golf. And like when he went professional, his dad was around, but you hanging out and still kicking it with white boys all day. And you started to realize, okay,
just the world.
I ain't gonna coming with them. I ain't never been around like niggas before or African American. Well, he been around African American, but not on niggas. He ain't never
great
seen
clips.
Nobody.
That's where Tiger Woods goes to. Great clips.
Great clips.
No doubt.
Sports cuts.
Sports clips.
Sports. He goes in the mall.
Everybody that got a referee shirt on. I'll get you over here. Take a little off the top, no edge up. That'll be good. $4.99, sir.
There you go, man. Another story that I don't know if you guys heard about it, but I'm going to talk a little bit about it because I want y'all opinion on it. It kind of stuck out to me. Okay, so the parents of Samantha Josephson, I'm not sure if y'all heard about it. She's a University of South Carolina student, and she mistook a person's car for her Uber and hopped in the backseat. Dude pressed the lock button, killed her. Took her somewhere, dumped her. And it said, man, why are you laughing? What is wrong with this dude, man?
That's really crazy.
It says, I think
they don't sound right.
And you over here mad at that woman for laughing at Nipsey Hussle on Fox News, but you gonna laugh at this poor woman. The views expressed by CAP aka Los are not the foundational views of this podcast.
It don't sound right. That sound right to you?
We're not
That don't sound
helping
right.
you. We're not hopping on.
Something else.
Kodak.
It's something. Okay, well, it's something else up to that. It ain't just. I ain't just happy.
Yeah,
like
you're gonna
that.
have to put out a Rogue Los podcast with that one.
So the parent said, I think it's just become a natural phenomenon using Uber. We trust people and you can't. You have to change the way the laws are that make it safer because that's our nature. We automatically assume that we're safe. So her father said that we're growing up, we teach our kids not to get in the cars with strangers. And what do? We get in the cars with strangers. So basically, like I said, this happened on March 29th. The dude killed her. The parents went on to say, we just want to know that she was a great young woman and she's a hard worker and all the rest of this. So this is what they basically want to happen. They're trying to, the South Carolina lawmakers introduced the Samantha Josephson Ride Sharing Safety Act, which will require ride-sharing vehicles to have an illuminated company-provided sign with the company's trademark or logo that's patently visible so as to be seen in darkness. And that's what it is. So
okay,
my part is, what are your thoughts about this whole thing? Because I got thoughts on it.
I got a
So
question.
I'm gonna start. Best friend weekend Denver. I'm gonna give you a little story. Best friend weekend Denver. I wake up on Sunday morning after we went out on Saturday night and couldn't find my phone. Got on somebody else's phone that was in the house. Saw that my phone was somewhere over there. Like it was just on the map somewhere. Went to find my phone, ended up hearing it because I played noise through the Find My iPhone app, and it was in a random white BMW that I've never seen in my life. And somebody said, "Oh, that's our Uber from last night." And then CNH, I remember this and I'll never forget it. He said, "This is actually the Uber that brought us to the club. But I had pictures on my phone from the club." I still don't know what happened. All that to say is, usually when the Uber driver ride up to you, like he's very weird about you getting in his car. Now, granted, we just talked about black men, white women, but whatever. Whenever you walk up to the car, they usually say, "Raj?"
Yeah.
And I say,
Yeah.
"Yeah."
Uber
And I
driver.
get in the car. You know what I mean? And then he'd start to do some stuff. I looked at the time that this girl got in this car, 2:00 in the morning. So all I'm saying is, they got dangerous people out there. And there's a lawsuit that she has against Uber, or that her family has against Uber. Was she drunk?
Yeah, she was drunk. Of course. It was 2 a.m. leaving the club.
Then you gotta have some self-responsibility there. Now I'm not rest in peace. I hope the best for her family. I hope they can come to terms with her death, but shit happens, man. Like and whenever you get drunk, it don't make it no better. Buddy system.
Bunch of
Everybody. I was about to say females, but everybody, man. Like the buddy system might be a joke, but like really, like kick it with a buddy when you leave in the club.
The chief thought is that ain't Uber fault, and the fact that it's all over the news, like Uber needs to do better. Like how that's
what
Uber
I was about
fault?
to ask. Was it dude? Did he have an Uber sign in his car?
No, he's just a dude. Crazy dude.
So how you gonna sue Uber because your drunk daughter got into a stranger's car? Now he shouldn't have killed her. That's crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's fucked up.
Yeah, obviously.
But my question was, I was like, okay, she got loaded, got to anybody's car. He took her somewhere and murked her, and that's Uber fault. Come on, man. Everybody know Uber got a sign in their car. People got Uber signs in their car. I thought he was posing with an Uber sign that he printed off from Kinko's or something. And they mad about that. But you can't, man.
So if I just go walk on the tarmac and hop in a plane and the dude take off and wreck that bitch, can I sue Southwest? And be like, man, I thought that was Southwest.
Southwest for you.
I thought that was Southwest.
I'm like, hey, y'all had my drunk homeboy on the plane with y'all? Nah.
But it wasn't even Southwest I was on. I was just on a random single engine Cessna, but I thought it was Southwest. Or one of them Super Max 757s that they taking off the runway. I mean, I don't know. Like like you said, Raj, I think you said a mouthful. That as far as kind of my thoughts on it, it sucks that he picked her up and killed her. Sucks. Shouldn't have did it. But why are your parents trying to make bills to make big highlighter signs on the top of people's Ubers? People don't want to ride around with that because people half the time be embarrassed that they're Ubers.
I mean, now let's be honest. Let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
If something like that happened to someone in my family, I'd probably be suing Uber too.
I mean,
I gotta be mad at somebody. I'm not gonna just be
exact
mad at this
point.
dude
You
that
gotta
ain't
be
got no
mad at
insurance.
somebody. Absolutely.
So I'm gonna be mad at Uber. And if I can find a way to bring awareness to rape by suing Uber because they didn't do a good job of warning women about rapes by fake Uber drivers, then that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm rolling with. Maybe
Well,
they
make
did.
it right.
They didn't say the dude wasn't a fake Uber driver though.
He wasn't a fake Uber driver.
What?
He was just sitting there. She got in the car.
So
and he
if
was
I
like,
if I walk outside and a dude like say come with me and he got a police uniform on and then he take me away and kill me, can I sue the police?
nah.
Because I thought that was the police. I had called the police,
Yeah.
but somebody showed up with a police uniform and they like. I mean, honestly, this is kind of
Maybe I would sue the police. I probably
You can't
would
sue the police.
because
It's not their
impersonating a
fault. Somebody
police
got
officer
fake
is a
uniform on though.
impersonating a police officer is a fake crime, and I'm upset that the police didn't get to that dude before I got to him. So yeah, I'm gonna sue the police for not catching the person that duped me. Yes, I'm suing him for the same exact thing.
I don't think Uber's gonna lose.
So
this
that means a
case.
lot of people got a case then.
Yeah, I don't think Uber
lot
gonna
of
lose
people
this
got a
case. I think Uber got.
Well, so here's the thing. I don't think Uber necessarily loses the case, but there's some people that are mad about this. There's some people that might agree with the fact that Uber don't do enough to warn people about fake Uber. I'm not saying that. Just Uber don't want this bad light on them, right? So they're gonna do what they gotta do.
Oh, it was just a dude.
I don't know what it was. I'm not saying that it was necessarily a fake Uber. It
I
was
don't
just
know.
a person
Yeah.
that. Well, I don't know. So look, I'm torn between if this dude pulled up and was like, "Whoa, what's up, mom?" and she said, and so he was like, "I'm your Uber," or if she walked up to somebody's car and just got in it, and he was like,
"You're right.
Whoa, what you doing?"
Big difference.
That's all I'm saying.
don't know.
If he rolled down the window and said, "Whoa, what's happening, babe? You getting in with me?" and she just got in, like thinking it was an Uber, then I get your point. But I don't think anybody would know that unless the killer says it, right? Like if he just sitting there in front of the club watching the let out, and then the chick just get in his car.
Exactly. Or he might, like you said, he might have been trying to holler and she got in. But she didn't. If she didn't confirm it was an Uber, now if he said, "Yeah, I'm your Uber," that's different. But if you just try to holler at the chick and she just get in, that's not Uber's fault.
I wonder if it's the same make and model and license plate of the car that she was looking for too. Because that, like, once again, when I'm waiting for Uber, I'm always looking for. I need a black Hyundai. The last three of the license plate is 274. Like,
and they got that little ugly picture. So,
have you either of y'all ever caught an Uber? Not the time that we were just talking about whenever with the white BMW that I have no idea, the mystery Uber ride. Just an Uber ride fucked up to where I don't remember how I got home.
Facts, big facts.
Because I have.
yes,
Yeah.
I can't tell you anything about my Uber driver.
Of course.
Because I just know I wanted to make it home safe. And I don't know if this was like, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, be careful. I don't know. Cause you might get in the car with somebody that I always thought it was like, oh nah, Uber drivers are safe, like whatever, they got ratings. This dude didn't have no ratings. Like you can't.
He wasn't
get
an Uber driver.
You can't get in the car. You can't get in the car with just anybody. But I just think it's very coincidental and very crazy that she got in the car with somebody that killed her, not raped her, killed her.
So is it far-fetched to say, oh, he rolled down the window, tried to holler at her, and she got in the car? You know, before the Uber got there, she was low. He tried to holler at her, shoot on her. She like, yeah, I ride with you, and he murked her that way. Is that far-fetched to say that?
But why would he just pick somebody up to murk him? Like,
because you a killer.
I don't understand.
Because you fucking crazy.
I don't think you're gonna put yourself in the brain of a killer though. Somebody who's gonna pick somebody up and just kill him. Like I don't.
But I'm putting myself in the brain of just a regular person. Like so.
I don't think you're a regular person.
If you kill a stranger, you're not a regular person.
But so okay, so here's what I think is I guess the opposite of far-fetched is close-fetched. Here's what I think is near close-fetched about it.
Near-fetched.
Yeah, near-fetched
Close quarters.
I could see like so. I like to park in front the club I'm going to. Like that's the first place I look for a parking spot. And if I just pull up in my car, like if I just turn my car on and I'm sitting there, I'm maybe checking my GPS how to get home, and somebody just hops in my car, that's very coincidental, and I think it could happen. Mm-hmm. But I'm not gonna kill them. I've actually had people walk up. Now that I'm thinking about it, I've had people walk up to my car like I was their Uber, and I'm not.
Did you kill them?
I didn't kill them. I didn't do anything bad. Why would you say that?
Why? This podcast is not brought to you by Lowe's.
What the fuck?
He's ridiculous, dog. He on his silliness.
No, I didn't do anything bad to him. I just told him I wasn't their Uber. I could see some dude just being like, "Yeah, I'm your Uber. Where you going?" And maybe try to hop. But like, why did I kill her? Like, why did he kill her?
Probably because he didn't want her. Yeah.
You trying to make too much sense out of it.
Yeah, he probably got her in the car.
I guess it's the same reason why
that was it.
You throw a baby over a railing, right?
Yeah.
You know, like so that's.
Hey, that's so wild.
Somebody else threw a baby off a bridge. A daddy threw a baby off a bridge and got a homicide case. So people have been throwing babies off of shit all like recently a lot.
That's crazy.
And that's both crimes. And both of those crimes was black people doing it to white people. So let's not spend too much time on them. Some other thoughts.
And it's very close to Florida. Very close to Florida.
Very close to Florida. Some other thoughts, man. Just some real thoughts. Some thoughts from this week that I jotted down. One, me and Los went to a little function on Sunday and they gave us name tags. We put them on and then we wore them the whole day. Is that like
so much fun?
Is that like peacocking more than a best friend weekend hat? Just a name tag that say your name on it when you're out somewhere?
So much fun.
Because everywhere I was at, they was like, Aldo!
Yeah.
What type of event was it, if you might don't mind me asking?
It was a move to Houston event, and it was like hosted by some realtors, but Ito was boiling crawfish. So we went over there to holler at Ito's for a minute, and we just so happened to meet the people. They had name tags. We're like, give us a name tag. And we put it on, put our names on.
The different nuggets were there too.
The different nuggets.
So it was a wine mixer of sorts.
It was Cataline-esque.
Okay.
Yeah, it was cool. Shout out.
But we went to some other places afterwards still wearing the name tags. So I'm thinking if you come to Best Friend Weekend, we got to have some name tags that say Best Friend Weekend,
some big fire name tags.
My name is CNH. My name is... You get it? I feel like it's a thing.
Slim Shady.
So that's one thought. Another thought, me and Los kind of started partaking in some refreshments. And we started having this discussion, and I'm going to ask you, Raj, do PJ Tucker and or DJ Khaled get shoes for free?
No.
Okay.
Maybe DJ Khaled, because I think DJ Khaled's on like a way higher level than PJ Tucker is. And I know dudes on the level of like PJ Tucker as far as shoes go. And no, them dudes buy their shoes, but they buy them at retail. They got
somebody. You know somebody on PJ Tucker level as far as shoes go.
Okay,
yes.
So Raj just made a point. He said that he buys them at retail, so he getting them at $140.
At retail.
But you know, PJ come with something, and you don't know people on PJ level. PJ Tucker. I don't mean to call. Like I just heard what Los just said. You don't know people on PJ Tucker's level.
No, you don't.
You don't. It's not you're lying.
I don't see why. I don't see why you said it. Okay, so. This podcast is brought to you by JoJo LaFell. JoJo LaFell got a lot of shoes.
Yeah.
Now, granted,
he don't have an NFL NBA contract. He don't have shoes like
guaranteed money.
But we're splitting hairs.
$30,000. Come on, man.
We're splitting hairs when we talk about. I'm not talking about this podcast is brought to you by Cody Ray. I'm talking about an actual professional athlete as well. So like. So PJ Tucker might have 100 more shoes than him.
Or
I'm just letting you know that I don't think.
Yeah.
You said a billion more?
So I'm thinking the difference is palpable. I think okay, yeah, JoJo LaFell might have 1,000 pairs of kicks, but I think PJ Tucker might have 4,000. I think it might be even. So maybe you're saying when it gets to a point, then people just got a bunch. I
don't want to argue over whose dick's bigger. So whoa. I just think that they both. I think that they both.
We ain't talking like
that's what you're trying to do.
This podcast
happy anniversary, fellas.
Whatever that was. Whoa.
Happy anniversary. Like that's what you're
trying to do. PJ Tucker got more shoes, but like, what if Brandon LaFell had?
Okay, go ahead. I know what you were doing.
I've never seen PJ Tucker's closet. I've never seen JoJo's closet, but I know that JoJo.
You seen my dick before though.
All I know is I don't know, but you ask me what I think. I think that man buys his shoes at retail.
So that makes it.
Ain't nobody lacing up PJ Tucker for what I need PJ Tucker for.
What my point is, I like me and Los was having this whole talk about how he probably got somebody on his team, or it might be him, who's buddy with like Bleacher Report kicks. Because he's like damn near the spokesperson. Every time they're talking about new kicks and fly kicks and whatever, it's always PJ Tucker. Everybody in the NBA knows that PJ Tucker is the dude with them kicks. So I think that it's not far-fetched to say Nike would say, okay, I'll give you a deal. Like you're on some kind of a shoe deal. Like he's an NBA basketball player. I mean, he might not be the best, but it's not like a lot of people are on shoe deals that we don't have their own signature shoe. So my point is, I think he can be on a shoe deal where he's getting money and or he might have a deal where he's just getting shoes.
No, so that's actually what it is. So I don't think that so I guess you can call it what you will, but dudes I also know numerous dudes with shoe deals. Like, but they gotta pay for the shoes, but like you said, they get money to pay for those shoes. So like they'll give you an allowance of however much X. Let's say I know a couple dudes with $10,000 to spend on Nike.com/VIP on a year. PJ Tucker probably gets more than that.
Okay.
But I still think that some shoes, like let's say like lubes, like things like that, like Gucci, I think that man purchases that with his own money.
I didn't mean that. Value. I meant just the stuff he hoops in.
But I think PJ Tucker getting shoes that we don't see on people though. You know what I mean? He getting the shoes that you just really can't find out there.
He do be having like the Oregon fours and shit. Like what?
Yeah, he has shoes that he might make 55 of them, 100 of them. He didn't walk around everyday people's shoes.
Then that's even more. Anyway. That's even more in like furthers the point to me that he buys it. The most famous pair of shoes I've ever seen in my life was Mark Ingram had on the Nike Mags.
I knew that. I knew exactly what you were going to say. I saw the video with that.
He buys some of his shoes. I'm sure he don't buy all of them, but he buys some of them shoes.
To me, Mark Ingram bought those shoes because so they made 1,000 of them. What makes Mark Ingram the 1,000th person at best to have those?
Well, I was watching on ESPN Plus. They have the little thing called the board. No, for real. Kevin Durant has a show called The Boardroom, and he was asking
the whole clown room. Snake
he was
room.
Asking PJ about how his shoes and all that stuff, and how he didn't like to be the shoe king and all that. And he was like, "How much have you spent on a pair of shoes?" And he spent like $29,000, but he got all of KD's. All the KD twos, like crazy colorways of KD twos. So he got the whole collection of them. So
you saying he did spend money on them?
He spent money on them. Yeah, he said about $29,000. So like you said, I think he buys some of his shoes, but I think a lot of those shoes, because he said he talked about he designed for Nike. They didn't call him in before and they helped design some shoes and stuff like that. So I'm sure he gets free shoes, but some of those, I think the shoe. What?
I don't know. My problem is just that he get all them shoes and he don't even really much play. Now cue up that music for Nothin NICE.
Nothing
nice. They say if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all.
If you can't say something nice, don't say nothing at all.
Nothing nice to say, but Aldo nice.
Ain't nothing nice. You hear me?
Listen, man, the internet is undefeated. It can sometimes be a cruel place, but it always has the best memes, the funniest clapbacks, and the snarkiest comments. I'm a fan. Where would we be without the internets? It's ingrained in our culture so much that we got to just go with it. A second aspect of the internet that's not going nowhere is social media. I remember it at its advent with ICQ, AIM, Yahoo Chat, College Club, Black Planet, MySpace, Facebook, and to the forms of media that we use currently. People can shy away from them and not be active in this environment. But I argue that those are the best places to get obscure news stories, keep up with people you don't see all the time, and a lot of people understand and understand people's real thoughts and emotions. Because while some people say, don't take this too serious, it's just my social media, it ain't real life, oftentimes just posting it tells me something about who you are, or who you purport to be, or who you aspire to be in real life, and that's just a fact. Either way, one of the things that happens on the internet, on social media to be exact, that I hate the most is when people get into little factions and they start debating. You know, it could be over political events or big world happenings, but sometimes it be about pop culture or general phenomenon that organically take place, like light skin versus dark skin. For instance, 2 weeks ago, my timeline was all about Nipsey Hussle. But the underlying debate or disconnect was one faction saying Nipsey was the best that black culture had to offer, and the other side saying, y'all didn't know him till he died. Well, all of these little middle ground arguments are interesting to me. I don't like to have to pick a side. I hate when people are all bucked up about their little position. Side note, I know a dude who I went to college with, and he was on he used to tell people that his name was Tupac and he was a thug and all whatever. He was on Facebook recently. And he said this: for those hating on Tiger but was crying over Nipsey for 2 weeks, I'm not knocking you for feeling moved or inspired by Nipsey Hussle. May he R.I.P. forever. But I can't relate. What I can relate to is an Ivy League school graduate who grew up playing golf and came from good parents who sacrificed everything to get him to live a better life than they had. I can't rap a Nipsey song, but I've watched every Masters Golf Championship Tiger has won and competed in since I was 10, to each his own. So he wrote that. Yeah. First of all, bitch, Stanford ain't Ivy League. And I definitely don't have nothing nice to say about your clown ass opinion if you want to troll him. His Facebook name is Vincent C.A. That's just a capital C.A. and he's from Fresno, California. So y'all can look him up if y'all want. But back to my point. The thing this week that people are debating is Game of Thrones. They got a faction of people who are excited about the show's return. Another faction acting like it's not live to watch the show and everybody's wasting their time. I hate that argument. And I hate the people who keep reposting that you need to binge watch your kids instead of binge watching TV. This is my response. Fuck you. And the horse you rode in on. Game of Thrones is the best television show in history. It's better than MASH, Cheers, Fresh Prince, Martin, ER, The Wire, Power, This Is Us, Good Times, or whatever your favorite show is. It's a goddamn movie every week with dragons and mystery and alliances and main characters getting killed off all the time to let you know that nobody's safe. What I like all you bitches to do is miss me with all that hating on Game of Thrones. Because I ain't got nothing nice to say about you SOS people who don't have a clue what's going on the other side of the narrow sea. Bitch, winter is coming and we need to prepare for the Night King. So I ain't got nothing to say at all.
Shut up.
Y'all just mad because y'all not fucking in it. Y'all just mad because y'all can't be excited about nothing. I was genuinely excited on Sunday.
Amped up.
That's all I'm saying about it.
I wish I was. I just never saw it, and I apologize. And I probably never will.
That boy saying I apologize.
I mean, it's kind of like Lost.
I want to.
If you didn't watch Lost, you would have been like, but it's a good show.
Yeah, I actually saw. I got on YouTube. I do a lot of YouTubing. I got on YouTube the other day and I saw this video and it was like, if you haven't seen, I'm paraphrasing. So it was like, if you've never seen an episode of Game of Thrones, here's a 20-minute recap.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like a 20-minute recap. I didn't watch it, but I was thinking to myself, damn, if I wanted to watch a 20-minute recap and it was thorough, and I can come up to you and somebody, Game of Thrones fan, and be like, hey, this is what I learned, and then you'd be like, oh, that's not enough, then I'd be disappointed. But if you were like, yeah, that's pretty much what happened, I'd be like, yes, okay, I'm cool, I can watch the final season now and enjoy it. But I'm probably not gonna do that either.
It's so much nuance in the show that it would be tough to watch a 20-minute. I watched a little 10-minute something, and it's so much intricacy as far as kind of the character relationships and so many things that's left out that may come into play in these last 5 episodes, where you're gonna be like, if you haven't watched it, you're gonna be like, oh, I forgot about Daenerys' brother and Khal Drogo. I forgot about that whole exchange. I forgot about when the Sand Snakes was happening in Dorne and Jaime Lannister was there. It's so many characters. It's such a big world that they built. And what's crazy about it, it's like the guy, the writer, J.R. Martin, I think is what his name is. They have a whole universe of this.
Mm-hmm.
The story Game of Thrones is like a song of fire and ice. It's taking place over a 10-year period. But he's got other books where he's talking about 1,000 years ago with whole other characters, whole other families, whole other stories. This whole the war of the Dragon War and the Valerians and then the Targaryens, and this was about 50 millennium, and this is when they built the wall, and it's so expansive in the universe. So it's like you got to watch a show, then you got to sit back and like listen to a podcast to listen to some nerd who's read all of the books and can tell you like, well, really what that's alluding to is these swords are made from dragon glass, and in the long night, it's crazy. But once you get into it, I mean, I'm not like a Dungeons and Dragons here, but this is like Game of Thrones is like you're missing out if you're not on it.
You sound like one.
I mean, hey.
I watched it. I binge watched like two seasons. It was cool. I gotta ask my man.
I think they just got a fraction of people who like too cool for Game of Thrones, and I think those people, if you're too cool for that kind of thing, you're too cool for me. You're too cool for Infinity War for me. You're too cool for what was it? The Hobbit. Was not The Hobbit? What was Lord of the Rings?
Harry Potter.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, Harry Potter. If you're too cool for Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings,
Harry Potter.
And
I watched those.
I mean, I feel like a lot of people are like, I'm too cool for Game of Thrones, and that's whack. That's whack. You're not cool. You're not too cool. You're not even really all that cool.
I don't think I'm too. I never seen it, but I don't think I'm too cool. I'm just way more excited about the last OG season 2. So like, I'm just on that.
Hey,
that got me whenever Game of Thrones was getting everybody else.
That's because your attention
stay
span only
woke.
30 minutes. That's all I can do is hate. Because I love The Last OG too. One of my favorite shows on TV. So the same dude who does the BFW dad hats, I just found out today, he actually does Big Brawler brand. Same machines that print the BFW stuff, prints the Triple Bs. Has always been.
And the
Can
dude
we do like
named
a
Al.
BBBFW? That would be fire.
BBBFW.
The dude he contact name was Al too.
Right.
And it's the third, so we good.
Saints schedule, just real quick. Everybody out there who's listening to the podcast, you know we're huge Saints fan. Week 1, Monday night football versus the Houston Texans. Shout out. Week 2, we get our payback at Los Angeles. Then we at Seattle. Dallas on Sunday night football, week 4. Tampa Bay at home. At Jacksonville. At Chicago. And then Arizona at home. Then we get our bye in week 9. That's my birthday weekend. Homecoming weekend, we got the Falcons in New Orleans at noon. Then we go to Tampa Bay. Then we got the Panthers at home. Then we go to Atlanta on Thanksgiving again. Thanksgiving night, we play Atlanta again 2 years in a row. I guess we had big ratings. Week 14, we playing versus San Francisco. Then Indianapolis comes to see us on Monday Night Football, week 15. Then we go to Tennessee and go to Carolina to end the season. So that's our schedule. Give me 1 or 2 takeaways that you're excited about from that schedule.
Dallas at New Orleans.
Yeah.
Win the Super Bowl, man. I'm tired of getting cheated. I want to win the Super Bowl, man.
That's what you're excited about? Yeah, because we don't ever play Dallas at New Orleans, huh? I like that.
I want to win the Super Bowl, man.
I mean, I'm with you too, Los. I can't act like, your answer was way better than mine.
Yeah.
I want to win the Super Bowl as well. I feel like we should be defending our Super Bowl championship for the second year in a row right now.
Yeah.
Last year we was mad about, like, because me and Lo said it at the beginning of the season, our goal was to make it to the Super Bowl. And they cheated us out of that.
Yeah. That hurt too.
So we got to go to the Super Bowl.
Let me just like humble. I know you probably read it. The only thing that I'm worried about with the whole rule change is that the Saints led the league in pass interference last year. So that means they missed some as well. I mean, it was real handsy. They missed some.
Or they call them all on us because they hate us.
But maybe that too. But it just worries me a little bit. Sure, there's a couple of different ways to look at it, but that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how stuff happens. They probably going to call one on us in a big moment just cause. But I mean, looking at
the game before the Super Bowl.
They say whenever people look at schedules for their team, they be like 10-6, 11-5. Like nobody ever says my team gonna be 6-10, right? Because you never know what it's gonna be. But just kind of looking at our schedule, we're supposed to be able to manage this schedule. We're supposed to be able to maneuver it. The back half of that schedule: Atlanta, Tampa, Carolina, Atlanta, San Francisco, Indy, Tennessee, Carolina. We should be fine in that back 9. Like honestly, right? Coming off our bye. Even the first half ain't really.
As long as
that
we staying healthy,
difficult.
as long as we still healthy, we should be good.
Yeah, we playing the little poorly NFC West, so I mean it is what it is. Anyway, next week, and like I said, it's the 100th episode. Do me a favor, like Lo said, hit us up, hit Los up, hit me up, inboxes, do something. Give us some questions because we want to involve the listeners in our 100th episode next week. Don't make us contact you. Contact us. We want to get y'all on air, like saying some stuff or tell us something. No, we want to do something different next week.
We'll read your questions on air, man. Holler at us. We'll get your followers up or something. I don't know.
And we're gonna have some new merch up there for y'all or something. Like let's
for a small fee.
Let's make this a grand event. You know,
a family affair.
Cause y'all family. You heard me?
Y'all family though.
Pastor Lowe's, tell him a little something about it.
You ain't know. Easter coming up. I know some of you CD members coming in smelling like Newports, pink oil moisturizer, and body spray. But it's okay. I just need you to drop a little something in that plate. And then at the end of church, we're going to go to Al's. Nothing nice to say. Cafe.
That was nothing nice to say. Cafe, huh? And Graham Stars, Edo's
and Rod Smooths, Logs, Pause.
Pause, yeah. Hey man, look, appreciate y'all kicking it with us for this little extended episode, and y'all holler at us next week. We'll be right back at you.
2 years, man.
Cheers to 2 years,
Bow.
buddy.
Bow.